Let's return to that story in Ukraine. Russia launching a massive missile and drone attack on the capital Kyiv overnight and other areas of the country. I can show you some of the nighttime pictures in the skies above central Kyiv. At least 6 people, we're told, were killed, dozens more wounded in these attacks, including children and a pregnant woman. Let me take you to some live pictures from Berlin, where the defence ministers from the group of 5 countries, that's Britain, France, Germany, Italy and Poland, are speaking to reporters after discussing additional aid for Ukraine. I'll just read you the comments from the German Defence Minister, Boris Pistorius, who says Russia is massively targeting Ukraine's civilian energy infrastructure. Putin is clearly aiming to make the winter as unbearable as possible for Ukraine, to destroy their morale and break the resistance of the Ukrainians. And to that, he has pledged another 150 million euros. That's around $174 million towards another Pearl package. So that's the money that the Europeans are using to buy US weapons that they will supply to Ukraine. Well, let's talk to someone who sat through that bombardment last night. Not easy, of course, because this keeps repeating. Elena Potareko, she's a teacher in Kyiv. Thank you for being with us. Tell us what it was like last night. What did you go through?
Hello. Of course, it's been an awful night. And, it was one of those nights that we unfortunately have very often recently. So it was very loud, a lot of explosions, and we could hear all those drones and missiles and everything. So, yeah, it's been awful.
It's not conducive to a learning environment, is it, this? Because presumably you're having very late nights, you're kept awake, you and the children.
Yeah, obviously. But, unfortunately, it's just we are getting used to that reality because this is our reality now. So children are sleepy, children are exhausted, but they know that they are welcome at school. And even after such hard nights as we had, they all rush to school. And it is challenging. It is very difficult, but life is going on. So we try to be here for our students, try to encourage them to learn, and we try to inspire them and to be here with them and for them.
I presume you're spending long hours in the bomb shelter. Does that include the time at school? Are you teaching in the bomb shelters?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I don't usually go to the shelter at night, but it's not what it should be. But this is just my own responsibility. But at school, this is our school policy. And every time we have an air raid, we go to the shelter and we continue there. Obviously, it's not the same as to teach in the classroom, but we are lucky to have this really nice shelter, and all the students know the policy and they go downstairs and we continue there. So we try to do, the most and try to do our best just to make sure that the students have the lessons all the time, even in such circumstances.
I know you don't go to the bomb shelter. You take your chances, but it is worth saying that you're in close proximity to this. In fact, did I read that there were fragments of drone that landed in the vicinity of the school today?
Yeah, actually, I can show you some of the pieces. I got them ready for you. So this is part of the drone, and so those are just some fragments we've got, and this is just a small piece of a drone. And unfortunately, this collection is growing, and we have a lot of fragments, pieces of drones at school. So yeah, it's not just the first time, and we had a lot of times when they just fell in the schoolyards, and now we have a huge collection of.
And just to that point that the German Defence Minister's been making this morning, that the Russians are trying to break morale. What would you say about the mood in the city? Because it's never ending, this. Is there still a determination there to resist?
Yeah, I can say that the harder they try to break our spirit, the less it is possible. We are resilient and we keep moving and going, and life goes on.
Elena, it's good of you to come on. We're sending our best to you and to the children that you teach there in your school. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Major energy facilities damaged. I'm just reading here in Poltava, Kharkiv, the Kyiv regions, work underway currently to try and restore power to some of the cities. Ukraine giving as good as it gets as well, though. We've had reports today that the Ukrainians struck an oil terminal in Russia in a Black Sea port of Novosibirsk. So they are, of course, fighting back, but some very, very difficult things to deal with overnight.